We encourage people to do that because your competition, for the most part, are people that are left over from the spring, summer, or earlier fall months that have not sold. So you hit the market, you're different, you're better positioned, you're working with an agent that understands how to... Welcome back, folks, as the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. Huge shout out to Rexanne Strecker of Preferred Rate. You're going to hear more of her, and for those of you that watch us on YouTube, you're going to see more of her. We're going to do this on a monthly basis, talk about the mortgage side of the business, because it's such a hot topic, right? We talked a lot about investing and the investor mindset if you're just joining us, but you can catch all that on YouTube. So I want to talk about two things with the limited time that we have left. I want to talk about a concern that a lot of people have right now, which is, are prices falling or about to fall? And then I want to talk about negotiating real estate contracts this time of year. So let's start first with, are prices falling? First of all, let me just say this. Just because we're seeing an increase in the number of price reductions locally doesn't necessarily mean that prices are coming down or that homes are worth less. In the past 30 days, we've had about 1,400 price reductions locally. If you go back 3 months, we had under 1,100. So that's a 25% increase. And a lot of people might think, well, okay, prices are starting to come down. Well, it might just mean that the asking price was too high. A lot of sellers are trying to catch the tail end of this market that was going nuts for a long time. And if you're just looking at the data, well, first of all, you have to have access to it. But if you're just looking at the data and you don't really have any context, you're going to get confused. If you look at it from a national perspective, Case-Shiller, Freddie Mac, Black Knight, they're all showing that the rate of appreciation over the past few months has actually increased. And that's the story that they're going to push. But when you dig into the data, you realize it's like 0.1% that the properties have appreciated by. And that's just because inventory is low and people are still willing to fight for properties. A lot of people just need to move. It's not just a want, it's a need. And it makes more sense to buy than it does to rent for a lot of folks. Even with the headwinds that we're experiencing right now in this real estate market, people are still willing to pay generously for real estate, even though, quite frankly, 1 in 4 people believe that prices are going to come down based on the most recent survey from Fannie Mae. But locally, we're just a little different. Prices are a little all over the place. We actually peaked in May of last year at $425,000 was our median sales price. Then by February of the following year, it went down to $386,000. And then in September, it was $415,000. And then last month, it was $408,000. So again, if you're just looking at the data, it's going to confuse you. But, luckily for you, you're a listener of this show. So you get all the benefit of understanding current consumer behavior, which is a big driver. And it's the precursor to actions or inactions taken in the market. And my team sells, we sell a lot of real estate. We have a lot of exposure to real estate on different levels. We sell land all over the state. We manage rental properties. I've got a private money lending company that gives short-term capital to investors to flip property. I coach agents across the country and in Canada. Our exposure to real estate's vast. And what I can tell you, at least right now, by and large, is that for the people that are listing their homes or about to list their homes, 2 big things. Number one, by and large, most people are unwilling right now to pay more than what something most recently sold for. Now, there's going to be exceptions to that. There will be exceptions to that in any kind of market because there are certain properties that have unique features or that have been exceptionally well maintained and they just command a premium price. And if other comparable properties don't have what they have, then of course it's probably going to sell for more. But the second thing I would tell folks that are thinking about selling right now is think about your competition. We, as a team, our best month is either May or June every year because that's just when we have the sheer number of transactions. That's just the bell curve of closings in our market locally, the seasonality of it. But our second or third best month is always December. It's because people want to get moved by the end of the year, whether that's for tax purposes or to be settled. Also remember that we have a lot of corporate relocations that happen in January. They're looking right now. And you've got a lot of people in general that are just looking right now, but they've been coached to believe that they have to wait until spring for inventory to hit the market. If you're a seller, you can beat those people to the punch. And if it makes sense for you based on our consultation, we encourage people to do that because your competition, for the most part, are people that are left over from the spring, summer, or earlier fall months that have not sold. So you hit the market, you're different, you're better positioned, you're working with an agent that understands how to market it. And although you might get less in the form of showings, quantity of showings, what I find this time of year is that the quality is significantly higher because you have less tire kickers. Things are winding down at work. A lot of people kind of go on cruise control in December. They've got time. They're looking at real estate. And if it's priced well, it's marketed well, it's what that person's looking for, there's really no reason for them not to jump on it if they can afford it. So position yourself against the competition. If you wait until spring, that's fine. Just understand that that's what all the other sellers are going to do. And who knows what the market's going to look like then versus now. I always say that I like to deal with the devil I know than the devil I don't. So for those of you that are thinking about selling, again, reach out to us because we've got a ton of great incentives right now. We've got variable commissions that can go down to 2%. If you buy and sell with us, we'll move you for free. If you're stuck in a lease, we can help buy you out of it. There's just a bunch of different things that we can do to help you transact in real estate, soften the blow, put more money in your pocket, not just from the incentives themselves, but from the knowledge, the transactional experience that we have. Somebody that's done almost 1,500 transactions here locally. So we'd love to earn your business. Feel free to give me a call if you'd like to talk more about that. 843-800-0065. That's 843-800-0065. Or check us out online, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. And just remember, we turn this show into a podcast, which you can find on iTunes and Spotify and Google Play. All of these videos are on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all that great stuff. So we hope to see you somewhere. But stick around because we've got a few more minutes left and there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that's negotiating real estate deals this time of year. So stick around. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show.
Visit Brian Beatty's website at listingsincharleston.com.